The Selfish Giant by Oscar Wilde, Part 2. After staying with his friend, the Cornish ogre, for 7 years, the giant made his way back to his own castle as there was nothing left for him to talk about with his friend anymore. He returned to his castle in the afternoon, just in time to see children running around his garden, playing, laughing, and having a merry time. Seeing this made him furious. He stomped into the garden and shouted at the children, "What are you doing here? My own garden is my own garden, and I will not allow anybody to play in it but myself." This terrified the children, and they ran away quickly from their beloved garden. The giant acted selfishly and built a high wall around the garden so no one could enter, and he also put up an ugly sign that read, "Trespassers will be prosecuted." Yes, he was a selfish giant. The children were saddened by the selfish giant's behavior and that they lost their wonderful playground. They tried to make the best with what they had and play on the road, but the road was very dusty, hard, and covered with sharp stones. They didn't like playing on the road and often walked around the wall the selfish giant built, reminiscing on how happy they used to be playing in the castle's garden. Months passed. Winter came and went, and it was springtime again. All over the town, the trees grew new fresh leaves. The sleeping flowers woke up and dazzled everyone with their bright colors, and the little birds came back and flew around the town, singing their favorite songs. Happiness spread everywhere except in the selfish giant's garden. For in the selfish giant's garden, it was still winter. With no children visiting the garden anymore, Spring didn't care to visit it. Only Snow, with her icy white cloak, and Frost, with her cold silver paint, were happy to stay in the deserted garden, with Snow blanketing the ground with her cloak, and Frost coloring the trees with her paint. In fact, they were so happy to be in the childless garden that they decided to invite 2 more friends to come and join them. The North Wind, who was wrapped in thick furs the color of steel, and Hail, who wore a long grey coat and had breath that was bitterly cold. And together they wreaked havoc over the garden and castle as the North Wind tore through the garden and blew the chimney pots down, and the hail rattled the roof of the castle for hours every day, creating a loud racket and even breaking most of the roof slates. All 4 of the winter friends kept having fun because not a child was in sight in the abandoned garden. The selfish giant thought to himself, "I wonder what is taking Spring so long to visit this year. The wind roars and makes it very cold. There is no color in the garden save the wintry white and silver, and the hail hardly spares me a moment's silence with his continuous clattering for hours every day." The selfish giant felt sad. He missed the warmth, color, and happiness of spring. But months went by, and winter remained his constant companion. And then one morning, as the selfish giant was sitting on his bed in despair, missing spring, he all of a sudden could hear some lovely music. To find out what happens next in The Selfish Giant, please watch The Selfish Giant by Oscar Wilde, Part 3.